Hello. See you staying here. This beautiful lady to my right. This reminds her it's like on another planet, on the moon or something. And so does Hollywood. They come here all the time from Hollywood to Bollywood to film if they need an exotic location.
They're doing Bollywood dances?
Yeah, they have done that.
Really?
Yeah. They did a music video here, for example. Some famous Indian singers.
Where are these guys going? Is there another case?
No. They might be just in trouble. With the car. Maybe. There are also glacier hikes here. There are ice climbing. Also all kinds of activity.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to the same spot. This glacier was used in Game of Thrones. This was used also in Interstellar.
Oh, cool.
This has been used in a couple of James Bond movies. The lagoon was used in a Transformer movie. And they said somewhere in the Antarctic they found a frozen Transformer. It was here. And also in Batman Begins, when Batman was training with Ra's al Ghul, they said it was in Tibet, but it was here. Also in Rogue One, when he was in the beginning, he was hiding from Darth Vader as a farmer. He was hiding here in Iceland.
Not so far.
Prometheus, from the Alien movies, was all filmed here. Oblivion, Tom Cruise, all filmed here. This is the name of you, top of my head. The last big project here in Iceland was True Detective Season 4 with Jodie Foster in the lead. That was all filmed here. You know, it was supposed to take place in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all filmed here.
Weird that they would come this far when...
I don't know. And of course, I am super grateful that you guys are coming here from far away, all the way here to me. You bring me your business, I'm getting your money. This is very good. In the old days, if I needed money, I would have to come and visit you and rob you. Maybe you would kill me, you know, as a Viking. Or maybe I would kill you, but that was actually one of the strengths of the Vikings. Hidden strengths, you could say. They went into fights completely fearless. To die in a battle was called good and honorable death. Because then you had the best chance to go to Valhalla, the home of the gods. As Odin, he was always collecting good warriors to prepare for the final fight, the end of the world, called Ragnarök. He would send Valkyrs to monitor the fights. They would pick the fighters. You see, even women could go to Valhalla.
Great. Love gender equality.
Yeah, right? Equal opportunities back then with the Nordic mythology. But I'm not allowed to do this anymore. And so they were fighting always fearless. They didn't care if they died in a fight, and they were fighting people who were scared of dying. This was one of their hidden strengths.
Right.
Makes a huge difference in a fight. This mentality difference. And we also had the Vikings had the best boat building technology of their time. Boats were a lot better on the open ocean, stable, faster. So we could sail wherever we wanted to, pretty much. Icelanders, we sailed to America. Leif Erikson, Leif the Lucky, found America around the year 1000. You heard about him? That was way before that Columbus dude. You heard about Leif Erikson, or Leif the Lucky?
No?
We found America, way before. So see, around the year 1000. He was going to visit his father in Greenland. A storm took him. He missed. He didn't hit the southern peak of Greenland, and the storm just kept on taking him west. And he called it Vineland the Great. He came back, told Icelanders about this place, and we went there. A lot of people went there to settle. But at some point, the Native Americans turned on the Vikings. So they fled. This knowledge about America was not passed on to the mainland. But they have found the remains of the settlements. Now, this is not a fable, true story. But we just not credited with it because we didn't pass it on. But America gave us a statue of Leif Erikson. It's outside of the big church in Reykjavik. on the hill, the tall church, is a statue of Liv Eriksson. It was a gift from America.
Oh, that's cool.
And we sailed all the way to Constantinople, called today Istanbul. So we could go pretty much wherever we wanted to. The Vikings also did more than just to raid places, we took over places. The Vikings ruled over Sicily for almost 100 years. They conquered Paris, and the King of France made a deal with the Vikings and said, listen, you can have part of France, you can live there in harmony, as long as you help us for the next generation of Vikings. And they did so, and that part of France is called Normandy, literally means land of the Northmen. And we also ruled over England for almost 250 years. That's a long time.
Generations.
Couple of generations, 250 years going back. Now, has a little bit more than 2,
3, 4.
6, 7. A lot of things got integrated, therefore, into the English language. Basically, Icelandic words. We are speaking very close to the Old Norse the Vikings spoke. Iceland is the least evolved language of all the European languages because of isolation. So all English-speaking people, for example, you are using the Viking system for the names of the days. You're honoring Nordic mythology gods 4 times a week without knowing. Have you heard this before?
No.
No? Okay. Because Saturday is a good day, Saturn, Sunday, day of the sun, Monday, day of the moon. But Tuesday means day of Tyr, the warrior god. Odin, the chief god, was also called Woden, or Woden's day, instead of being Wednesday. Thursday is obvious, the most obvious one, right? What is Thursday? What does it mean? Day of Thor. Friday is day of Freya, the goddess of love and prosperity. So thank you for honoring my gods.
Me too.
Every
No
week.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Your god maybe gets one day, Sunday.
Yeah.
I get 4. We are not using the system here in Iceland anymore. When we took up Christianity, we knew what these words meant. We didn't think it was appropriate. We did quite a cool thing when we took up Christianity. We were the last nation to convert, and once we became the last ones, then doing commerce with the mainland became more difficult. Vikings having bad reputation for some strange reason I cannot imagine. And they were debating about it here in the parliament what we should do. And it was decided to leave it up to one guy called Þorgir. He was a law speaker of the parliament, the wisest person of Iceland. And he came up with a very wise decision. He said, okay, we shall convert and build churches so people come here, they can see them. And we are a Christian nation. We shall change the names of the days, so when we travel, we can say we don't even use this system anymore. That's nothing so special. But what he said next is the special part. He said, everybody has the right to do whatever they want to in their own privacy. When you think about that for a couple of seconds, you realize this is religious freedom written in the law here in Iceland, around year 1000. It's quite impressive, I think. So Icelanders, we don't judge people, we don't pry into religious matters. They are your matters. We are very relaxed when it comes to religion. If you're a nice person, we can be friends. We don't care. So, this is the reason, actually, also, why we know Nordic mythology. Because it was strong here for a long, long time, and we documented this religion, this culture. No other nation did so. So, everything we know about them comes from Icelandic books. The sagas, written in the 13th and 14th century. And also, with this non-judgmental, non-prying attitude, believe in trolls and elves stayed also strong for a long time. Today nobody believes in trolls. But, and if you ask people to their face, do they believe in elves? They will say none of your business. But if you do anonymous polls online, about 25% of Icelanders say yes. You are all practicing, at least my Western friends here, we are practicing elfish superstitions all the time. You do things you don't know what they mean. if you do knock on wood, that is an elfish superstition. People just do it, but they don't know why. It's because you say, the elves, they like to play pranks on humans. And when you say this or that never fails, they think this is a perfect opportunity to get us. They like to let us play games, you know, not mean. But then you go knock on wood, and they go, huh, who's knocking, what's going on? And they forgot they were going to teach you. So you're confusing the elves. Well, I can also prove that elves exist. Have you ever been looking for your car keys or your wallet? You look in the kitchen, not there. And then you go and look in your bedroom, not there. And you go back to the kitchen and it's right there. Now, those were the elves teaching you. So, if you ever experienced this, you ever experienced elves?
Wonderful. Elves in my home.
Yeah, right? They also like to take socks from the washing machine.
Okay, that's where they all went.
So I've proven now elves exist. My grandmother, she could see elves. I have a good friend that can see elves. And I never met anybody who has seen Jesus or God or some gods. That makes it 2-0 for the elves in my book. Don't you agree?
Sounds reasonable.
Right? We're gonna call my mom now grandma live. Have you seen the Northern Lights yet?
We did the first night.
Nice.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Then the Northern Lights prove that the gods exist.
Oh.
We are living here in the middle world. This concept that Tolkien used, Middle Earth, was borrowed from Nordic mythology. Up there is the home of the gods. And when they are traveling, business or whatever, they leave a trace. It's called Northern Lights.
See, that's what it
So
is.
there's the proof of the gods as well. Now I'm converting you all to Nordic mythology and elfish superstitions.
Fine with it.
Forget about that sun business, you know. Nothing to do with the sun.
The sun's lovely though.
Yeah. I've been creating the Northern Lights. If you're not lucky enough to have a good and honorable death, you died of old age or sickness, or illness or something, you will go to a very cold place, the Viking Hell.
Yeah.
It was managed by Loki's daughter, and her name is Hel. H-E-L, one L. That's where the word comes from, Hel.
Wouldn't want that.
Now I'm just saying, like, there's so many things that got integrated into the English language that comes from the Vikings. The headquarters of the Viking rule was a place called Jorvik, like Reykjavik. Vik means a bay, Jor means a horse. Still used in Icelandic language today. And then they abbreviated this town into York. So New York is the new horse bay. Nothing to do with apples. I can go on and on. I will stop with that.
You know a lot of history.
I am, yeah. I'm deep diving into Viking histories. Because there's always new information coming about. And the internet, it's difficult to get like all this information from different countries about the effects of the Vikings here and there. Now people are just sharing it. You find it online. Lots of new information, connecting dots.
The internet's good for that.
Yeah. Also, well, we have a lot of volcanoes here. We have eruption on average every 3 years. But thankfully, they are more frequent and smaller now. The tension's being released more often. But that's not always the case. The worst eruption history of Iceland was actually very bad for not just Iceland. It was in 1783 when Laki erupted for 8 months, and it was unbelievably powerful eruption because it killed 70% of Icelandic livestock.
Wow.
People died of starvation, but it also killed people in Japan. The biggest famine in the history of Japan is because of this eruption. It changed the weather system on all the northern hemisphere.
Oh, wow.
And just recently, there was published an article in Egypt. They estimated that 1/5 of Egypt died because of this eruption.
When was this?
1783 to 1785. And this is because of crop losses. It didn't directly kill them, but it was led to famine. It's unbelievable. It's gonna be like more constant noise now for a little bit in the back. I have to inflate the tires a little bit to drive on the main road.
It's cool you have a compressor back there.
Sorry about the noise. And the reason why it's also a little bit smelling a little bit pollution oil is because everything is frozen. I think it's not managing to throw all the exhaust out. This is not normally like this. What a beautiful day, huh?
Gorgeous.
The storm is gone.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
Garðar, ég er að koma út á þjóðveginn.
Sunglasses for the first time on the trip. That works too. So simple.
When you're in east of the lagoon, this area basically, you are in reindeer zone.
Reindeer zone?
Yeah.
There's reindeer?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Are there wild reindeer?
Yeah, they're wild. They were imported to Iceland 250 years ago, circa. The authorities were trying to give the Icelandic people another source of food. Yeah, harsh living here in Iceland, so we were trying to increase, see if they could survive. They didn't actually manage to survive until on the third try.
And then they were okay.
Yeah, I
That's
helped them out
working.
over the first winter. Then they could adjust. Now we have about 12,000 reindeers in Iceland. They're all landlocked in the east part of Iceland.